Welcome back to another Mahoutsukai no Yome review. Today is episode 14. I'm Justin.
What is up? I'm Logan.
And together we're Couch Talk. As always, anime viewers only. And we're going to discuss the episode, what happened and all that, and give our scores at the end. Are you ready to jump into this?
I'm always ready.
So yeah, this is our last review from the hotel in San Antonio for PAX South. We're going back.
We going back.
Alright. Anyway, we basically pick up right where we left off from episode. She says a fox. She kind of just runs off because the mage guy says, hey, just go run.
Yeah, she just runs away. He's like, she'll go where she thinks is
the last
home.
place she'll stand, it will be home. And she goes up. Basically, the scene with her being a fox is almost pointless in my mind. Like, to me, it was just kind of completely pointless, actually. It just reinforces.
Yeah, Elias just said, oh, don't leave, it feels lonely when you're gone.
Which they just talked about in the greenhouse the episode before.
Right. I will say a knock I would have on this anime is they feel the need to have every ending scene be a cliffhanger, which that's what they did last episode with the whole fox thing, but then the fox thing got resolved in like 2 minutes and it didn't really do anything, which I just don't think it was necessary for the whole fox scene. I'm not saying it was bad, it just didn't feel like it.
The one thing I did like from is the shot with her at the top of the hill and Ruth down at the bottom. Like, yeah, that shot was kind of cool, but other than that, yeah, the scene was kind of pointless.
It just had no bearing to the rest of the episode.
We do get, like, the guy again calls Elias kind of like the failure that lives in the forest or whatever. And then Elias is like, well, you all avoid me, but you still have, even though you're supposed to avoid me even though I'm a failure or whatever. So, like, there must be something going on there that we'll pick up later. Yeah, I'm going to skip a little bit. Just because the rest of that fox scene was kind of pointless. We get it. Everyone hates the cold. We hate the cold. They hate the cold. And they all come together.
I mean,
they're doing it as in lonely, but
yeah,
screw the cold. But yeah, so she goes back to bed at her home, and then she's woken up by Side. Just leaving off the Leonon, Side.
The vampire.
The vampire, so Side. And she's like, Joel's in trouble.
Just stay back, Justin.
Sorry, my bad, man.
It's okay.
The lighting in here is just
it's awful.
Not the best.
It's awful. You can say it.
Yeah, so they go to Joel's because he's an old man. Finally dying.
He's dying.
Definitely dying. Elias comes in, he's like, oh, so this is what you're doing. Elias has no tact whatsoever.
Right. It's actually, he gives kind of off a very creepish vibe here.
Well, when he first talks to her about how she's like the one basically killing him or whatever, even though she's not really, he has like that devilish eyes and the face going on, and she kind of like gets scared of him for a little bit there. Like,
it's kind of weird. It's either Elias has no empathy whatsoever.
It's still the fact that he doesn't understand emotions, which is what Chisei's supposed to be teaching him.
Right, because he was like, this is your fault. You understand the fate of a vampire.
I think it's more like only Chisei knew what was going on there. He didn't, so he probably just assumed that she was doing what every other vampire does.
Vampire connecting to the human still had an effect on him. It just was
a lot slower
and more natural than just, taking his blood and killing him. Because at the end, he didn't have a natural death, as we saw, which we'll get into.
Yeah, well, he kind of gave up his life, though, there.
But she wasn't meaning harm to him whatsoever.
And then this is where Elias kind of picks up a little bit more about humans from Joel, because he's like, I'm content with life, so I'm going to be passing away. It's my time. And Elias was like, wait, what? Don't you fear death? He's like, yes, we all do, but I can still be content with my life and be fine with passing.
We all fear death, but you can't run from it. Like, I'm lived my life. I accept it.
Yeah, the only thing I would like to see Side one more time. And that's basically And she's outside just kind of breaking down, like trying to cope with it, I guess. And she's trying to say this, oh, there was never actually true love or whatever. I think that was just trying to
that was
like
definitely
protectionism, kind of like.
Yeah, a coping mechanism of, no, I didn't love him. I shouldn't care this much. But she clearly did.
Yes.
Like, you can't hide it.
So Chisei's like, I'm going to solve this. I'm going to go make the fairy ointment. That way she can see, or not she, Joelle can see her. We do get things like fairies hate being seen. That's what Elias says. So I guess that's probably why they cause misfortune with those with true sight.
That would make sense.
That's at least what I'm guessing.
That actually makes sense. I didn't even connect that, really.
Yeah, and because he was saying, like, it would make a lot of the neighbors angry, upset. Which, at the end, we kind of get it. It's because Chisei herself is making it as a human.
Right.
Also because they don't like being seen. So, they find out somebody can see them, they're not going to be happy with that.
Right.
So that's where we get her just kind of making...
It's quite a long, like, intense process.
5 days.
She has to hold it the whole time. She has to, I guess, imbue it with magic, essentially.
Yes, because we get her going into that little magic world, kind of. She's like the oceans and all that other stuff.
Right.
Just a lot of, here, look how cool our animation is. We
very
have the
pretty.
best graphical design team.
It's always very pretty. It's always top-notch animation.
And then the magic kind of gives off the scent while she's working on it, which is how Oberon picks up that they were making it.
Right. So the
and
Fairy King...
A lot of other fairies kind of notice too. A little bit.
But when the Fairy King notices something he doesn't agree with, it's going to cause issues.
Yes. But we know, because like... I'll talk to about it later. But, so she does complete it. Even though she kind of fell asleep for a little bit right there at the end. She made it just in time. I would have passed out for like a while if I was up for 5. I don't think I can be up for 5 days.
Yeah, I would pass out.
The longest I've been up is like almost 70 hours, I think.
I'd pass out. There's no way I'd make 5 days, dude.
There's definitely no way. But she gives it to Side to let her decide whether to use it or not.
Yeah.
And of course, she uses it.
Even Sida is like, why would you do this for me? Which it isn't a, like, very strenuous thing to do for someone.
But like, even what Chisei does it like for everybody.
That she even said that. She's like, it's because I'm doing it for someone else.
Yeah, which it's almost like she herself doesn't fully understand quite yet why she does it. She just does it.
But she's
still trying to build out that connection to people.
Her past, she's very straightforward and nice to people.
Yes.
Which
maybe
I think
something
it's
she
actually
picks up from her dad or something.
Yeah, but I think it's because she's finally opened up
to all these people and realizes she needs them.
Right.
That's what the others like doing the whole time, like Nevin and the others were like forcing her to realize it's not just her out there anymore.
Right.
But yeah, that's where we get this very emotional scene before Joel and Side about how he kind of was lost after he lost his wife way back in the past, but the Rose Garden and Side kind of gave him a will to live.
The one fateful day he saw her just by chance. He's like, yeah, that because he was talking to her, or well, she felt guilty. She's like, I took your life. Like, it's my fault. Well, she said, it's your fault for connecting us, but
yeah,
she's just quite distraught. But she's thinking it's her fault, but he's like, no, you gave me a will to live. Like,
if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have had this life.
Right.
And of course, he's like, it's all fine. You can have this life of mine.
It was very emotional. Like, I do like how they bring characters back. Like, we saw them way earlier. You know, like, that little story they had was great. But then they brought them back, and they're like...
They finished the story.
Right.
And that's what I love about the show. Like, the stories they tell are just really well done.
Yeah.
Like, they're powerfully driven and stuff, like the emotions and everything. Like, they just do an incredible job. And, you know, he dies. Side gets his life. And she's like, you know, I'm going to stay here forever. to take care of the place, essentially.
Well, yeah, she's like, I'll wait for him. It was very emotional. I did not expect that this episode. I expected something completely different, but it was still good.
Yeah, and then we get Chisei and Elias walking away, and they both don't understand whatsoever. It's because they still haven't figured out, like, love.
Right. Well, Chisei was sad because she can empathize with Side and Joel. But then Elias is like, I don't like to see you cry. It makes me feel weird.
Yes. And Chisei was like, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't be your teacher this time. They're both still trying to figure out emotions. Like, Elias doesn't understand them at all. Chisei's learning them, but she has to teach somebody else while she's still learning them. It's like, this is going to be a long process for the two of them.
Right.
We're going to have a lot more of this. And that's where Oberon comes up. He's like, hey, that's forbidden for humans to make this fairy ointment.
Right.
And that's how it ends with Chisei coughing up blood, which, of course, earlier in the episode, Elias was worried about her making it, saying she has a weak, fragile body.
Her little magic ring broke.
True,
which I'm assuming Oberon broke. I don't think it broke by chance. I think he broke it. I think he was pissed that she did something he doesn't agree with as a fairy. And
True. I think it's like maybe a combination of that, and then of course she has that weak, fragile body.
Right. But
and
that was meant to like
magic is what it was, and that's what Elias warned her about too.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think he broke it. But I mean, it could be by just exerting too much magical power.
It would be a combination too, and of course, did something happen with it? No, she just saw through it with the guy in the very beginning. Never mind. So,
see, this is why I don't see. This was a good cliffhanger because this will make sense. But like the last cliffhanger kind of downplays cliffhangers like this.
Yeah,
because the last one you're like, oh shit, she's turned to the fox. That's not good. What's gonna happen? And then 2 minutes they resolve it. And then you're like, this one, she's coughing up blood. You're like, well, should I worry now? Like, or is it just gonna be okay?
Yeah,
like,
this one's I think is.
But this one obviously
well
is more
done.
severe.
It's more severe. Because she did something that she wasn't supposed to do. Like, even though slave baggies are closer to being fairies, she's still human.
Right.
And
that seems to be, picking and choosing, if I'd say so. If someone can use magic and is closer to a fairy, you might as well just consider them a fairy, right? Because humans don't use magic.
Well,
really.
Lindell's human.
Oh, well.
And his master was human.
They're like, aren't they super...
Because mages can live longer because they use the power of magic.
Well, she's different. I feel there's just some rules being bent to their liking.
So it could be. But I think that does it for the episode. Ready to jump into scores?
Sure. I'll give it a solid 8. I mean, the issue I had was the first 2 minutes kind of not needed, it kind of made the cliffhanger from last week's episode just unnecessary. There's like unnecessary tension to like presenting a problem, and then it's kind of like the cliffhanger in episode 1 with the dragon. It's the exact same thing. Like, you're presenting like, oh shit, something bad's gonna happen, but it's like, JK. It's like, okay, we don't need to do that. You guys do things perfect. Like, that it's not necessary. You don't have to end everything on a cliffhanger. Like, I understand that's like a tactic to get people to watching, but like, if your show's good, you don't need a cliffhanger to get people to watch.
That is very true.
But I love the story. I love the emotions that it brings out. It feels like every episode's like a lesson, emotional lesson for both Chisei and Elias, which is pretty much the driving force of the story, I feel. But it's always beautiful. I love how it uses all its characters to like their max potential. Like, if it introduces a character, it's like, we're not done with you yet. We're gonna keep going. It's just, it wasn't what I expected, considering the cliffhanger, but it was super. It was good. It was satisfying.
Yeah, I want to give it a 7.5. I agree with everything you said. The fox scene was just, in my mind, just completely useless. Served no place. We didn't even get much of the guy, the mage, really, at all. Who's been around for millenniums, and they're just kind of like, they just had him come in, say a few lines that weren't really necessary, and then he's gone.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's coming back just because of the nature of this show.
Yeah, of course. But yeah.
It seemed a weird time to introduce him.
Yes, and of course the storytelling in the show is just really damn good. If they would have just replaced that first scene with anything, I guess, it would have been better. But everything else, I agree with. So I'm just coming down to that 7.5, though.
You know, they could have just had the old man just be like, you need to be careful with her or something. Just say something like that. Just to like plant that another seed that slave beggies are in danger. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Right, it's time. It's time. Give us a spiel.
As always,
Spiel. Sorry, go ahead.
Spiel. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below to be notified every time we upload. Let us know what you thought about the episode by commenting down below. Let us know if you didn't like it, what score you would give it. Again, no spoilers, do not confirm or deny theories, and until next time, peace out.
See ya.